Welcome to another week of Celtic Chalk Talk. My name, Steve Purciello. I'm your host, and we talk about the Boston Celtics in the past week. I've been a lifelong Celtic fan since the Bill Russell days. Always rooted for him, always followed him. Now it's my pleasure to bring you some of my insights on the Celtics. Last week really, was really an insignificant week. They played the Chicago Bulls, and the Chicago Bulls are really a sad sack right now. They're in the tanking stage, and they have a completely almost new team, trading all their former players, and guys are just trying to get accustomed to each other and play together and get to know each other. For the Celtics, it was an easy win. They were leading by 28 at one point. At the half, they were winning big. They never looked back. A couple highlights in the game. Jordan Walsh played again a very effective game. He had 16 points, but he also defensively, he's really an outstanding defender. He gives Boston something I'll talk more about in a few minutes. Nikola Vukovic, 19 and 11, another good game. He's becoming a factor, and he really can help them, especially if Tatum comes back. The Bulls, you can't really determine much out of this game. The Bulls have no rim protection. They're just not good, and they're trying to figure out, and a lot of guys like Anfernee Simons, who is one of ours, and I'll mention him in a few seconds, they're playing for a contract, and that doesn't mean you're going to have a very cohesive team playing, and the Bulls didn't show much cohesion. Now, I want to mention, as I mentioned, Anfernee Simons, and I want to mention a few things. First of all, I thought Anfernee Simons was a very good acquisition and a real Celtic. He could become a real Celtic. He plays hard, likes the winning part, which we didn't know about until we've seen him. His teammates adored him. If you watched after the Bulls game, guys were crowding around him that practiced with him and knew him that were on Boston's team. So it told me something right there, and I really think Simons, if all things being somewhat equal, will want to come back to the Celtics. And that's my next point. If you think about it, if the Celtics can go out, now they spent $27 million for Simons this year, and I think with the $27 million, with the way the cap would go up next year, if they can proportion that money towards Vukovic and Simons, and I think Vuk would take a lot less, like 10, and if Simons would take 15 to 17, which I think is reasonable, Boston would get both of them. Think about where they'd be with Jason Tatum. This is a dream or a hope, and I hope that Celtic management, and I'm never going to criticize Brad Stevens, but I hope Celtic management has an idea that they would love to keep Simons, if all things being equal. Naturally, if the bidding goes crazy, which I don't see, but if it gets back into the 20s, I think you got to move on. But if it stays down into where I'm talking, it's an interesting piece. And then Vukovic, who's getting a chance to play for a title, might be very interested in staying there. The next thing I wanted to do this week was just talk about different players on Boston and where they are. There's 12 people right now on the roster. They will be adding 2 within the next couple days, and I'm sure Stevens has got some ideas of where he's going. But let me just name a few of them. First guy I want to mention is Hugo. I've talked about him a lot. I believe if Hugo can be an offensive player in the league, he could make a lot of money, obviously, and be a pretty good Celtic player. He's not really there, his offensive game. It's up and down. The defensive game, now let's talk. This guy is a player. He's big, he's wide, and he can guard from probably 1 to 4. He's got a future just doing that, and he can make some money. But if he gets an offensive game, he could be a star. He really could be a star in the league, and fortunately the Celtics found him out of nowhere and did a great job utilizing him. The next person I wanted to talk about was Jordan Walsh. Jordan Walsh, just an interesting player. He's really surprised a lot of people. He's playing real well. The Celtics should be very happy they have him. Defensively, he's another stud defensively, and he has really gone out and played decent defense. great defense, but off the ball offensively, he's become effective. He's a pretty good rebounder offensively, but he can shoot a three. He's not a bad shooter, and more importantly, he does little things off the ball that affect the game and help the Celtics. And of course, he, like Hugo and the next guy I'm going to mention, Baylor Shireman, those guys, all three of them bring a lot of energy when they come on the court. And that is effectual because the rest of the team responds to that and they can play with that. So I think the three of them have really done a nice job in helping the Celtics become a pretty good team. Baylor Shireman is the third, as I said. He's got a very good, unique talent. He can move his feet real well and stay in front of ball handlers. That keeps you around. The other thing is he can shoot a three. He's very good at keeping the ball high on the catch and bringing it through, so that's a quicker release than most people have. And he's also a pretty good rebounder. So he brings something. Now, between the three of them, they bring something every game to the team. And that's the part that is really something you can appreciate as a Celtic fan and so on. The next guy I just want to mention is Amari Williams. Amari Williams is a decent player. He's going to develop. The question is, will he develop with the Celtics or somewhere else? He's going to get better as he begins to see the game slow down in front of him. In Maine, he is getting some triple doubles. He's playing very well. He's one of their best players, and that should translate and transfer to the Boston Celtics. Ron Harper. Great game against Houston when he got the start. Hasn't shot real well since, but he brings something also. He's another guy that's all over the place. He's on the floor. He'll defend. He'll get himself dirty, and he can play. He's another guy, and I would think that Brad Stevens will be signing him to a regular contract in the next few days. Now we get to the big men. Luka Garza. Luka's got a place on the team, but Luka might not play every game because he doesn't defend real well. He gives you his best defensively, and he's average at the very best. But offensively, he's a very good offensive rebounder, can shoot a three, and do a lot of little things that would bother other teams. Luka is somebody that the Celtics found, Brad Stevens and his group found, and they did a great job in making him what he is. The next one is Nimi Queta. I think highly of him. I think he's just going to get better as he's in the league. He does a lot of nice things. He's not strong, and that means he can lose the ball often in traffic, and that doesn't help his game. And he doesn't always make his layups, but he brings a great physical presence in the middle, and there's a rim protector, and he can rebound. And the Celtics, if you remember going back to October, they needed rebounding. They found it. Nimi is able to do that. Now, the converse to Nimi is a guy by the name of Nikola Vukovic. He can score. He's a professional scorer. He can put the ball in the basket, and he does it well. And that's a very important talent the Celtics need. He has really done the other day, 19 and 11, 19 points, 11 rebounds. Pretty good game. And he's able to put the ball, like I said, he's only playing 25 to 30 minutes. And again, if they can sign him cheaply next year, he can help them off the bench, playing 15 to 20 minutes a night and getting points and being an offensive threat for the team. The next guy to mention would be Sam Hauser. Sam Hauser can score. He can put the ball in the basket. And when he's on, he just adds another thing to the offense. He's a professional scorer. They got him $11 million a year. Is not a bad price to pay for a guy who can score. And defensively, he can hold his own. So they've got something there that works real well. That makes Boston better. Moving right through is Payton Pritchard. Payton Pritchard just gets better and better. He's very effective in the paint with that little fall away and that little jumper after using his body to push off and get those open shots. Can hit a three. Offensively, he's a spark plug. Now as a sixth man, he's a great sixth man, as we know from last year. He has done many good things for this team. Derrick White is Derrick White. He went through a little slump for the last about 2 or 3 weeks ago, but he's out of it now and he can play. Think back to the Houston game when he just got on fire in the third quarter and really put the game away. Derrick's a very good defender, and he's one of the best clutch fourth quarter players in the game, and just a great addition to this team. The last guy is Jaylen Brown. MVP type season is the best way to describe it. He's carried them when they needed it. Sometimes he'll get a little rambunctious and overdo it offensively, meaning looking to take the game on his shoulders, but that's fine. He's having a great year, and just let's hope it just continues, and I think, of course, it will. That's the team, and now the last thing I'll just bring up is Jason Tatum. If Tatum comes back with this cast, the Celtics are suddenly a team with a shot to get to the finals. And that's depending on Tatum being healthy and able to play. If that happens, look out. The league and Boston will be back as one of the best teams, if not, the best. I don't think they're the best, but they'd be one of the best teams in the league. And that would be just pure fun for us Celtic fans. That's it for this week. Be sure to listen next week as we talk more Celtic basketball and we move it along after the All-Star break. Thank you, and continue supporting us.